All right, and we're going. Hi, and welcome to Coffee Talk Tuesday during the quarantine. But we are not stopping Coffee Talk Tuesday. Can't stop Coffee Talk Tuesday when we have some awesome equipment. We have this mic that I stole, borrowed.
Yeah. Proper terminology here.
Exactly. So I am super excited today to introduce Trish Beagley. She is one of my bestest friends ever in the whole entire planet. And we've just had some amazing conversations, and I thought that we should just start talking about it with you guys because we're both going through different situations and different circumstances with our families and adjusting different reasons for our stresses, but they're stresses. And now we're kind of starting to get to that point where we're accepting and we're finding a flow. At least I'm feeling like I'm finding a flow. Are you feeling that way, Trish?
I'm finding my way back to the flow. Yes. I felt like I was swimming against the wrong way. Like I was against the current there for a minute, but I've accepted it and I'm back in flow.
You know what? That was me too. And hold up your mug, Trishy, because see, I didn't even have to ask her. Cheers. And a little side note, she's drinking water. I'm drinking wine because we figured out how to turn water into wine.
Just winning.
All right. A little sacrilege there for you. Sorry about that.
Hey, we at least fasted and prayed for the last, 20 hours?
Yeah, we did 20 hours. Trish and I did a fast. And Trish, why don't you go ahead? Because it was your inspiration that did it. What was the reason why you asked me to do that with you?
As you mentioned, we're just in unusual times right now. Hence, we're doing coffee talk this way, and social distancing. And, you know how important others are to me and thinking about the power of the other. I've been on your coffee talk before and we've talked about that and,
yes.
Needing to come together. And in a time where we can't come together physically, it's how can we come together as a community? And I saw on Facebook that the Mormon Church, or the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints or something like that, I can't remember how to say it right now, was doing a fasting and a praying together to really come together and, pray for the community and to help us get through these situations, and for all those on the front lines, all the medical staff, all the leadership trying to help us move forward. And so when we think about what we can do, it's come together and really a united effort to try and heal the earth, heal what's
Absolutely.
happening. And so I was just so excited you wanted to join in with me on doing that.
Yeah. And I love that too. And it's, fasting isn't always, and praying even isn't always a religious thing. And it can definitely be something that we can do as just a spiritual thing. And one of the things that have been really important to me to try to get back to during this whole pandemic is strengthening my own spiritual beliefs as well. And I know that we've had conversations. So when you invited me to that, it was really special to me. And actually my kids and their dad, Dave, joined in for not as long as I did, a little bit longer than them, but they made it to lunch. And
I love that. Good job, guys.
Yeah, I was really proud of them. And we even did, you and I did a little prayer and opening of the ceremony last night, which was super awesome and powerful. And I appreciate you letting me be vulnerable in that space, because it's not something that I do on a regular basis, and especially in front of people. I've been praying a lot more lately, but not as I usually don't do it in front of people like that. So
well, I am just so grateful that you felt secure and open to be that vulnerable with me, because it was so beautiful and it was such an incredible moment. And I felt so connected to you, even though there was such distance separating us, and realizing that we were coming together on that spiritual level. I even felt like it took our friendship to that next level. And I you know what I mean?
I do.
But it was a new connection that we created. And that's what I'm loving about this craziness right now is, people are like, I'm in a hurry to get back to normal life. And I've seen some quotes is like, what normal life are you really in a hurry to get back to? Because we found a really good flow. We were killing it at the gym, going to the gym and yoga and water aerobics. And I was just doing my normal fasting and was really found my flow again. And, I was going on about 2 weeks and then this hit and it was like, throw my hands up in the air, old behaviors. I'm going to, eat my bills and feel bad for myself. And, a week and a half into quarantine, it's like, no, it's what do I want to do? What do I want normal to look like? And that's where this is a really cool opportunity to do what you said. And it's really to go in and have that spiritual opportunity to invest in ourselves and pause and really, we're forced to be present. How amazing is that? It's a gift.
Exactly. Well, and that's something that, I've said, I don't know how many, the whole entire time we've been friends, that's my biggest challenge is to just be present. But now you're right. We don't have a choice but to be present in this moment and to feel the feelings that we're feeling and go through the things that we're going through and not be able to escape into, there are some things, we have our wine and we have our, treats and everything else that I've been indulging into and I've been really having to but one of my escapes is people. And when I'm feeling sad or lonely or stressed or overwhelmed, I throw myself into people and I go out and I laugh and I talk and about everything but the things that are real, and sometimes even about the things that are bugging me. But then I get to feel that connection. I'm an extrovert, so that connection, and it's been hard because I've seen you every single week since I think we got laid off. Maybe we missed a week or two here or there, but it's been pretty consistent. And so not having you, we had to figure out how can we still do this? So FaceTime has been one of those things. Marco Polo, guys, Marco Polo, that's a good one.
Absolutely. And I love that because we realized, we were texting and we were communicating that way, but it's that seeing, it's that making all those senses, you know what I mean? If I can't hug you, at least this way I can pretend to air hug you.
Right.
So, and I love it. It's what you can do. And, I think right now it's really easy to slip into that funk because it's also been, my wife pointed out, it's been really cloudy out. We've had the pandemic. We've been dealing with earthquakes, over 400 aftershocks here in Magna.
Yeah, and you are close to that. You're in the shaky center. I felt a couple, but I haven't felt them like you.
Oh my gosh, this has been one hell of a roller coaster, or heck of a roller coaster ride. Sorry, I don't know if you need to edit that out.
And now you're fine.
But seriously, and so it's, knowing that there's so much going on that's outside of our control, it's what can we control? How can we bring that happiness and be present and bring new and exciting moments into the now when we're kind of restricted from going out and doing the normal stuff? I am obsessed with movies. I'm going through a little bit of movies withdrawal because I haven't been able to go to a theater in weeks.
Yeah. And that's your therapy. That's what you do for therapy.
Right? That is my therapy. That's my escape. You're a social butterfly. You go talk and connect to people. I'm I want to disconnect and go get lost in a movie and not have to think, right? But those aren't our chances. That's not what we had the chance to do right now. So it's really, what can we do? And can I share with you something I did this weekend that I thought
please do. Yeah.
So I miss the little people in my life because really, I have a bunch of nieces and nephews and I love spending time with them. And it's hard, knowing they're homeschooling right now. They don't get to hang out with friends. I can't hang out with them. And so I thought, I want to bring some sunshine into their world. So we went and bought pre-filled Easter egg kits and wrote them a little note, just telling them how proud we are of them and what smart and great kids they are, and keep doing good for mom and dad with schoolwork, and have them take pictures and videos of you going on an Easter egg hunt and send it to us. And then we doorbell ditched them and dropped it off on all of our nieces and nephews' porches.
That's so cute.
And so it was so great to get some videos and seeing them having a good time. I miss being able to be with them, but I loved feeling like I was making a difference for them in a moment where they, aren't supposed to go out and play with their friends because they have to keep that social distance. So they're going to connect with their family and have a fun activity. And it was sponsored by their aunties. So
yeah. No, I absolutely love that. And actually it inspired me because you were telling me that you were going to do that. And my one of my nephews FaceTimed DJ, my son, for those of you who don't know, the other day, and his mom was there, and we were like, oh, hi, and we talked for a second, and she's like, I need to get out of the house, I want to go for a drive, and you had just told me you were doing that, and I said, well, you should come, if you're going to drive by, like, honk and wave, and we'll do like a little, like, you know, parade thing and throw candy.
I love it.
And she's like, oh, that's a really good idea, I don't know if we can do it today, or that day, but they ended up doing it today, and I was over at their dad's, so and it's his family, and so they came by, and we had I made a Corona safe goodie pack for them.
That is awesome. I love it.
And we put it in a box on the sidewalk, and then they took the treats, and then they put some treats in, and we waved. And then just a little bit ago, their dad, Dave's sister, did the same thing, and they made cookies and brought it around and made a little note for all of us. And I was like, this is so awesome. And so we're planning on doing that, because I was planning on doing that anyway, but I think we're going to expand our road trip for Saturday.
I love that so much.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, and you know, and those are the things. What else have you done to bring some sunshine and joy and different activities to change things up?
You know, I love the way you described it. So we talked about that egg hunt, and then you got that idea about doing those activities. It's that ripple of kindness that happens, right? Mm-hmm. We can create a ripple of sadness and despair, or we can create these ripples of joy and love and laughter. You know, honestly, something that I've been doing is, you know, Luke's home right now. I have a 16-year-old son, and he's homeschooling. And so we kind of make a joke about different activities. Like, I'll be like, are you ready for weightlifting class? Because I got garbage for you to take out.
Oh my gosh, Trish, that's amazing. I totally need to do that with my kids.
And so then we'll have gym, and I've been playing basketball with them outside. We've been taking breaks and playing basketball. And, you know, it's more about finding ways to connect in ways that we hadn't before. I realized, you know, he would go off to school for, you know, 6-7 hours, if not longer, because he was playing tennis. And then I'd have a half hour with him. And now it's reversed. I have so much time with him. And so I've really had an opportunity to have more conversations. And, you know, I don't know how much he's loving it, but like today I wrote a to-do list and goals for the day. And, you know, and so it was so great for us to be able to talk about it and accomplish, and for me to send him a text and say, I'm halfway through mine. How are you doing on yours? And so
that's awesome.
Not super fun things that I've been doing as far as out in the community, but it's just stuff at home. And that's where it's back to investing in what I have right here, right now. And so,
right. Well, and that's where it is. And, you know, you bring up a good point. Like we're all so busy as parents, and I'm constantly going as well. And there's not much time for my kids. And I had just started a new routine where I would set a timer, and we would have 15 minutes with DJ, 15 minutes with Danny. And that was our time together, because then, you know, they would get home from school and we'd have our little bit of time, and then, you know, their dad would come pick them up and I would have school, or whatever it was that we were doing. And it was funny, because then when all this started happening, of course I didn't have that anymore. Like it all kind of fell away, and now I'm with them all day long. Like, well, especially DJ. Danny I don't see very often, but all day long I'm with DJ.
Right.
And Friday he goes, you know, Mom, you haven't played He-Man with me, and we haven't had our special time in weeks. I was like, we've had special time every day for hours.
But it's not He-Man time, Mom.
He did. He's like, that's school. That doesn't count.
Cool. Hello, Mom.
I was like, okay, fair enough. And so I played He-Man, and it was like, it's funny how those little things mean so much, and how, like, I got, of course it was snowing and raining, and so I haven't been able to really use them, but I got soccer, the little cones. I got a bunch of those, and he has a soccer ball, and he loves soccer right now, and he can't go play soccer. So I'm going to set him up in the backyard and make like an obstacle course now that it's hopefully going to stop raining next week, because that's driving me crazy. We go from
Right?
winter and like seasonal depression to like, yay, it's spring, and then stay in your house, and then rain.
And stay happy. Figure out a way to stay happy. Be the joy, Shalise.
Right? Like, where's your light, Mom? I don't have any light left. Oh, but I am getting to a point now where I think I had to, because and I think you're like this too. We're very emotional people. And so we feel all the emotions that are going on with each other, with us, with, everyone else that's around us. And we need to find a way. And sometimes we need to just sit in that and be like, no, I don't want to be happy right now. Right. And I think that's okay too.
Absolutely. I hear you. And I think that right now I'm so like focused on, I must be happy, because I feel like everything is doom and gloom. Like today with like the fasting and everything too, I did not watch the news. I didn't want to connect. I tried to limit myself with social media and just anything that was bringing in anything that was going to influence how I felt, because you're right. Right now, I feel like I'm feeling things even more intensified. And so something that I appreciate that you brought to my attention that you did to help get you back in flow was create the morning routine. And I love your idea of writing it on your mirror. I wrote mine in a notebook and just have it in front of me. And I've had a chance to, meditate or do yoga with my wife or my grandma in the morning and kind of set my day. But then also realizing what you said, it is okay to just feel it and realize I don't feel happy right now, but I know that I also don't want to sit in the yuckiness. I want to move through it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's something that I know that has helped me too, and that we've talked about before. But even when I don't want to do those things, and I've had a coach, and having a coach, we just had our last session this week, but having that life coach and that personal coach with me, not exercise coach, but personal life coach with me through this, has also, the timing was so beautiful, because even though there were things that she would say or that we would talk about that I'm like, yeah, I know this, but I don't want to do it right now.
I know it, but I wanted to play. But
it's also just sometimes showing up for yourself. And even if you don't feel like doing it, if you do it, eventually you'll like it. It will become part of who you are. And I hate that, fake it till you make it. I don't say that very often. And I heard this years ago, but fake it till you become it. Yes. Or just go through it until you are it. I just made that up.
Ooh.
Is that good? Write that down.
I like
Somebody
that
write
one.
that down out there.
Write it. Typing.
Wait, we're recording this.
Okay, we're safe.
Because there's a lot of things, and sometimes we have to do things for us that are painful, that, disconnecting from some of those people that are causing us, our energy to be more intense. And sometimes disconnecting from them makes it hard, and sometimes it makes it easier, and sometimes it's both. And we don't know until we start doing it and giving ourselves that love and saying, okay, what is it that I need right now for me?
Absolutely. And that's where it goes back to, is we got to get back to us. I think that we, as feelers and emotional creatures and doers and healers, it's always investing in others. And so this is that chance to really go within and to find that spot where you can sit with yourself and be okay with yourself. And it is okay if you need to create that distance. And that's something I've had a hard time with, because I feel guilty if I say I need me time. Like, I want to go and run away right now because I need some time for me. It took me I'm 40 years old to be okay with saying I need me time. I realize I'm a better person if I can have some time for me and realize, what do I own? Because I don't want to place blame on other people that it's their energy that's throwing me off. It's what is triggering within me that I need to heal so I can be around these people. Maybe I need to limit my exposure, but what is it about me that is being triggered by that situation or that environment, and go within and fix that.
Right. Because honestly, like, even if there are triggers, and actually Dave and I were just talking today about how great it's been to come to, because I mean, for viewers, if you don't know, my ex-husband, Dave, we were together for 13 years and married for like 3 of them. But we have 2 kids together. He was like a dad to my son when, his dad wasn't around. And we had a falling out, but we knew that we had to get back to a place. And it's been 4 years now since all of this has happened. And it's taken us this long, but and it hasn't been always healthy, but it hasn't always been bad either. And we've gotten to that point where we understand we had to go and heal things about ourselves so we can get to this place where we could be friends. And we're going to talk about this on one of the shows because I think this is really important. But it's been cool to be able to have both of our places to go to, because we can come together, we can be a family with the kids. And then when we get sick of each other, I can go home.
I love that.
And I'm not,
Seriously.
And I'm not worried about like pissing him off or he's not worried about pissing me off. We're like, okay, if we get to this, it's like we're actually figuring out how to become friends.
And that's what I love. Yes, I love that you are both mature enough and have healed enough to be able to come together for the kids and be that family unit. And then it allows you that freedom to be like, okay, and I'm going to do me. Tag, you're it.
Right. And it's great. And, and then there's other things that, have been going on with everything else, but it's really finding out who you want to be around right now, who you can be around. And sometimes it's okay not to be around those people for certain. I mean, even you're married, you have to be in the same house, but right. You don't have to always be so on top of each other that you're driving each other crazy. Like those are things that you have to do. So finding those places in you are just as important.
Absolutely. And I think it gives you that opportunity to, like we've talked about, connect with yourself and what are my interests? I have a chance to slow down right now. I actually painted for the first time and I don't know how long, and it was so therapeutic. And I loved it. So I've loved the new morning routines I've been able to create with Marie, but I've also loved this opportunity to find my flow and to really do what I need to do. I'm blessed to have a job where I can work from home right now and in general. And so being able to, look up yoga, like you told me, Trisha, just look on the internet. I know we can't go to West Valley Fitness Center, but there are ways. I love
and you found some.
I did chair yoga this morning and it was awesome.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes. And it was so cute. I showed my grandma moves afterwards. She's 90 years old and we were doing stretches and she was adorable and I loved it.
And that's fun too, because speaking of grandmas, I have started a weekly Saturday morning coffee date with my grandma in California. And we're hoping that we can continue it on, but it's something that, like, one of my favorite things when I go to my grandma's house in California is to have coffee with her on her porch. She's, she lives in California. It's just beautiful. And we watch the hummingbirds and we chat and we have our cup of coffee. And I've done this, like, this is my thing with my grandma. And so when this all hit, I was like, they're going through it too. Their routine hasn't changed a ton, but I know that they're worried about me. And I also know that, there's things that it is that, like, take a step back and say, what am I not doing that I keep telling myself I want to do?
Right.
Because I don't have time, or I don't think about it because something else comes up and I got to go do that. Well, now it's like, what am I going to make a priority to make myself the best me I can be and to get to that next level of connection?
I love it.
Oddly enough, being disconnected.
Right? But it is that, who do you want to connect with? Who are you missing right now? When you sit in it and you realize you can't connect with people, who is it that you want to connect with and you want to reach out? And that's what I've been challenging myself to do, is to reach out to one person a day that I normally wouldn't reach out to on a daily basis, but someone who pops in my mind that might need that love right now. And you're always on my to text list, so you get those every day. But I've been trying to reach out, and it was so cool because I actually had someone do that same thing to me. Like, I got a phone call and they're like, yes, is Trish Beagley there? And it was this voice. I normally don't answer it if I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, this is Trish. Like, totally thought it was like, I don't know who this is. And it's Chuck Krabanic, my old boss.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I had a person text me that I haven't seen in years. years, just saying, I miss you. And I was like, at first I was like, who is this? Sorry, if you're listening. I had to take a moment to be like, because, there's always so many people, and it's been literally years and years and years since I've seen this person. And the fact that they thought of me was amazing.
It was so, that's what I said, I'm like, he's like, what can I do for you? How are things going? Because I changed my number and he finally found my phone number through someone. And I'm like, it just warmed my heart. You reached out. And so I think the smallest things that we can do right now, connecting from a distance, can be that ripple or that light in someone's day. And it doesn't take a lot to take, it doesn't take away from us and the healing journey we've been talking about to be able to send that love out.
Right.
And so,
well, I think that's one thing that we do really well. I mean, you're on my board of rainy days. And so, I mean, that's something that we do regularly. And it's something that we can't, I've been actually thinking like, well, what can we do for these families? And I mean, there's not at this point a ton that we can do. And I do have some ideas, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag right now because, we don't.
We can send them love now.
We're sending them love. And I do think about them and reach out to them. And I've talked to some of the moms just, but the thing is that's crazy. And I actually realized this too, that one of the things that I do really well, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's just my thing, is I experience life on all levels. I've had so many different kinds of experiences in my life. I have so many different stories. I've walked in many different shoes in my world and my healing and everything. I have never been quarantined and stuck at home and made to feel like if I don't wash my hands 150,000 times a day, then I'm going to die or pass it on to someone else to die.
I know we're going to hurt other people. I don't want to hurt people.
Right. I'm not. So, and like, I've never been, but I realize, and I've gone to visit our families that have, the kids and everything. And I'm always super cautious with them. And I'm, but I get to go, I get to visit, and then I leave. This is their life.
Yes.
And being able to experience this in a way that is like, I'm literally experiencing this. Luckily, my child is not in danger or sick. And hopefully they don't get sick because I don't even want to think about that. But I'm at that point too, where I'm like, what am I learning from this? And this is where like my process of like feeling all these emotions, I'm now at that place of what am I learning from this? And how can I start creating memories about this that are going to be good?
Yeah.
Because I'm a making memories person.
Absolutely.
So, but now experiencing a life on this side of it, I feel like I can connect with those moms on a different level now as well.
Absolutely. I think that's a terrific point. And, seeing those quotes and those posts that talk about, you say it's, only those that are at high risk or, immunity compromised, but your only is my everything.
Right.
And that it sends chills in my body when I think about that. And, I know it is so hard to create that distance, and some people aren't really bought into the concept and how they can make a difference through that way. And I just feel like the sooner we can realize that we can make such a big difference and that we have the power to be the good and to make sure they're, that only that is their everything is okay. Let's do that. Something little right now can mean something big for someone and we don't even know it. And so
Absolutely.
That's where I would rather sacrifice this time for that greater good. And so I appreciate those that are doing it with us as well.
Yeah, and I am too. And if you really think about it too, and this just came to me as well, that not all of them, but like Trey, one of our kids, the first one, his started out as flu-like symptoms. His heart failure, they had no idea that they had anything but a healthy kid.
Right.
And it started out with these flu-like symptoms and, all of these problems that started happening and it was just minor and they took him in and luckily they took him in time to save him.
Right.
But what if your kid that you think is healthy isn't that healthy?
Right.
What if there's some underlying thing that this can trigger? Like, I don't want to scare you, and I'm not a live in fear person. Like, that's not, that's not who I am. I don't live in fear at all. I live, I still live my life. But if I can prevent something like this from happening, and if you can prevent something like this happening, I don't want to find out if my kid has an underlying disease.
Right. Right. No, that's not what we want, of course. But I hear what you're saying, and it's really thinking about being grateful for what is now, because I don't want it to have to get to the point that someone I love is hurt or dying from this or something else for me to realize, shit, I needed to do my part.
Right.
And so I'd rather do it now and just hope that it doesn't get that close to me. But sadly, the reality of the numbers they're projecting is that is going to be a reality for most of us. Yeah. And so the sooner we can all step up and continue to do our part. And it is weird going in public and looking at people like, don't you dare cough on me. I'm going to hold my breath when I walk past you. Like, I never thought I'd be living in this world. I never thought me being a hugger would be like, this is my bubble. I'm not hugging. I'm practicing social distancing.
Oh, I went to this.
Had to do that, Shalise, twice. I had to push away hugs. No.
Well, when your doorbell rang yesterday, I think it was, I was like, don't hug them. I don't know if you heard me or not.
I did not hug them. No hugs for them.
Yeah, it's a weird world, and people like us who are all about helping people. Right. The hardest part, I think, for me is knowing the best way I can help people is by doing nothing.
So true.
I mean, like, by staying home and stuff. Like, there's still things that I can't do. But...
And especially for you, my social butterfly.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, no, wait. I still have packages to deliver. And then I'm like, and I think that there's still ways that we can do things. But we have to be careful, because sometimes when we give ourselves a little bit of leeway too, we're like, well, this is okay, right? Or this person, like our friend, one of our other friends, I go over to her house almost every weekend, and she's like, we're fine here. I know you're fine because both of us have been in seclusion. We're okay if you want to come over. And my initial thought was, well, I know that they're not going to get me sick. But then I was like, but what if some weird thing happens and I am a carrier, or they do happen to get sick and I don't, because, she has a compromised immune system as it is.
Right.
So what if something happens where even if it wasn't my fault, I would live with that being like, I shouldn't have gone over. I knew I shouldn't have gone over. So we didn't go over, and we did something like this instead. And it was super fun. And that's the other thing that I've been able to do is I'll have my girls' night, and we'll, like, our scary movie, you totally missed out. You have to do this with us. Seriously.
I'm going to do it next time. I was just painting. I got lost in my painting.
So fun. But we watched him. We couldn't get the Netflix party to work. There is the Netflix party, but I think everyone on Friday night was doing that. Because we couldn't get it to work. Okay. So we played the movie and just created a chat on Facebook, like just a Facebook chat, and made comments through the whole entire movie, laughing our asses off. And it was the most fun scary movie watching I have ever experienced.
Awesome. And I know that it was a good one for the moms to learn some parenting
lessons. Yeah. What was the movie called? I don't even remember. You know the movie.
It was like Evil something. I can't remember.
Little Evil.
Little Evil. There we go. Yeah. Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Oh my, it was funny though too. Like, I don't know if it was supposed to be funny or they meant it to be funny, but man, I was laughing so hard. I was like, this is brilliant. And I said, well, yeah, anyway.
I love it. But that's the thing, is you find different ways to do that so that you don't have to live in the what ifs, I accidentally brought this into the house, because that's the thing, is we can purely be carriers accidentally. Like, I've went through my day and had the interactions, and after I've done something, I realized, did I wash my hand? Did I touch my face? What if I touched that? And then my grandma just touched that because she's 90 years old.
Right.
And so it's those where, even though people are being as careful as they can be, that distance, the physical distance, if we can't do something as simple as stay at your house,
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
the hard stuff is going to be even harder.
Well, and you know what's great too is that I have been collecting all these bottles, my wine bottles, my alcohol, liquor bottles, whatever. I have 2 boxes filled of them.
Oh.
And remember that Christmas where I decorated all those bottles?
I still have my reindeer. I love it.
I had so much fun doing it, and I love painting, and I've been collecting these because I actually want to start selling them on Etsy because I was looking them up and they're like good, you can sell them for pretty good deals, you know, and get some money. And I'm like, it would be so fun to just set up a little paint station because I love painting, and I haven't done it because it's just like taking everything out and then putting everything back and cleaning it all up. If I just put it out there, then the kids could have stuff. And I love the idea of decorating rocks.
Yes.
And there's so many awesome rocks. My uncle started painting rocks, and I don't know if you saw on the Coffee Talk feed on Facebook, our group, but my uncle posted some pictures, and another person did too. But he's obviously an amazing artist and has been doing eyeballs, looking out like dragon eyes. And I was like, those are amazing. I'll never be that good, but it inspired me.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Shout out to Uncle Mikey.
Go Mikey. See, and I just touched my nose. Now I got to go wash my hand. I'm so hyper aware. I had an itch, so I'm not going to touch anybody, I promise. I'm going to bleach my doorknobs and everything.
I know that's one of the chores on my kids' chore list is bleaching doorknobs.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only mom doing that.
Yeah, no, they should be doing it anyway. I was really good at doing that when like the kids were babies and stuff, but then you just don't think about it. And
yes.
And I have an 8-year-old son. Well, you have a 16-year-old son, so I'm not sure which one of them is worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boys are dirty.
You might be winning. Boys are dirty. Dirty birds.
Oh gosh, Trish. Well, I just love you so much, and I'm so glad that you're here with me and took the time to record this with me today. And it's just I am so grateful that I have you to get through this with.
Ditto, girl. Ditto. Thank you for having me on. And I want to do a cheers to you because you're an amazing lady who constantly brings sunshine into people's day. And I am so grateful you're my other. Cheers.
Cheers. Chink. All right. Love you guys. And thank you so much for listening. And if anybody has any other ideas or suggestions or fun things that you're doing or pictures that you want to share, please share them with me. We'd love to talk about them and get some good ideas for our community to help ease the stress of going through what we're going through, because we are all in this together.
Yes.
So, all right.